Right now, without moving a single muscle, you are traveling at roughly 1,600 kilometers per hour. If you are sitting near the equator, that is your actual speed relative to the center of the planet. Even at higher latitudes, you are still hurtling through space at hundreds of meters every single second. Yet, if you close your eyes, you feel absolutely nothing. There is no wind rushing past your face, no vibration beneath your feet, and no sensation of tipping over. It feels as though the universe is motionless and you are anchored to absolute solid ground. The reason for this sensory illusion comes down to how human biology detects motion, how frames of reference work in physics, and the sheer scale of the planet beneath us. To understand why we feel stationary, we first have to look at how our internal motion sensors operate. Tucked inside your inner ear is a complex system of fluid-filled canals lined with microscopic hair cells. This vestibular system is remarkably sensitive, but it does not measure velocity. It measures acceleration. When you sit in a car and the driver hits the gas, the seat pushes against your back. The fluid inside your ear sloshes backward due to inertia, bending those tiny hair cells and sending a signal to your brain that says you are moving. But once the car settles into a steady highway speed of 100 kilometers per hour on a smooth road, that pushing sensation disappears, your body relaxes. The inner ear fluid returns to equilibrium. Unless the car speeds up, slows down, or turns a sharp corner, your nervous system registers constant velocity as equivalent to sitting still in your living room. Earth is the ultimate smooth vehicle. It rotates on its axis at a remarkably steady rate. There are no sudden brakes, no rapid accelerations, and no sharp steering maneuvers. Because the planet's angular speed is constant, there is no change in velocity for your inner ear to detect. You are cruising through space on a continuous, frictionless ride with zero tangential acceleration. However, you might wonder why we do not feel a rush of wind if we are moving so fast. When you stick your hand out of a moving car window, you feel immense air resistance. Why do we not feel that same air resistance from planetary rotation? The answer lies in our frame of reference. Earth does not spin inside a static bubble of air. Gravity pulls the entire atmosphere along with the solid surface. Over billions of years, friction between the rotating ground and the air has swept the atmosphere up into the exact same rotational frame. The air, the trees, the ocean, the clouds, and your house are all moving together at the exact same speed. Because there is no velocity difference between you and the surrounding air, you experience no headwind from the spin. You only feel air motion when local pressure differences create weather patterns, which are tiny thermal breezes compared to the massive orbital movement of the planet. Think of it like pouring a cup of water on a high-speed train. If the train is moving at 300 kilometers per hour on a straight, perfectly smooth track, the air inside the cabin, the cup, and the water are all moving at 300 kilometers per hour together. You can pour the water vertically into the cup without it flying backward into your face. To an observer inside the train, the physics behave exactly as if the train were parked at the station. Only when the train hits a bend or slams on the brakes does the water spill. Earth is that smooth train carrying us, our atmosphere, and everything around us in a shared frame of motion. There is another force at play that people often ask about: centrifugal effect. When you ride a fast playground merry-go-round, you feel pushed outward, forced to hang on tight so you do not fly off. Since Earth is a spinning sphere, should we not feel pushed outward into space? Physically, yes, a spinning sphere does generate an outward centrifugal tendency relative to its axis. But scale matters immensely here. A playground merry-go-round completes a full rotation every few seconds, generating high rotational acceleration. Earth is enormous, taking 24 hours to complete a single turn. That works out to an angular velocity of just 15 degrees per hour, half the speed of the hour hand on a clock. Because the rotation is so slow in terms of revolutions per minute, the outward centrifugal acceleration at the equator is incredibly tiny, about 0.034 meters per second squared. Meanwhile, Earth's gravity pulls you downward toward the center of the planet at roughly 9.8 meters per second squared. Gravity is more than 290 times stronger than the outward fling of the planet's rotation. The subtle outward force slightly reduces your measured weight at the equator by a fraction of 1%, but it is nowhere near strong enough to overcome gravity or trigger your body's physical senses. Even though our bodies cannot feel the spin directly, the planet leaves subtle clues everywhere that reveal its continuous motion. The Foucault pendulum uses a heavy weight suspended on a long wire that swings freely for hours. As the hours pass, the plane of the pendulum's swing appears to rotate, drawing new paths on the floor. In reality, it is the floor beneath the pendulum that is spinning while the swing stays aligned in space. On an even grander scale, the Coriolis effect shapes global weather. Large storm systems, like hurricanes, swirl in opposite directions in the northern and southern hemispheres because wind traveling north or south moves over ground that is rotating at different surface speeds. We live our daily lives entirely unaware of our incredible velocity because nature operates on relative balance. Stillness is not defined by being parked at an absolute coordinate in space. It is simply moving at the exact same uninterrupted pace as everything around you. Earth carries us through the dark expanse of space with absolute precision, holding us close with gravity and shielding us with its atmosphere, allowing us to feel perfectly still while traveling together on a giant cosmic carousel.